shit, dude. What's going on, YouTube? Back here with another video today. We just got back from driving the Lightning. It was a nice cool day today. We woke up with a cool blast down here in Florida. It got down to 51, and today the high is like in the 60s. So perfect day to drive the Lightning. Drove pretty damn good up until that last pull that we just did. This is completely unexpected. We got home and let's show you what we found. So I get home, I pop the hood. This is kind of what I do every day anyways, just to let the engine bay heat out for a little bit before I shut the garage and don't warm up the garage. But I came home and I found oil all over the place underneath the hood. You can kind of see it here running. I don't know if the camera's doing that any justice, but it's all running down here, very slimy. It's all over the hoses down here. It's all over this here. All over this solenoid cover thing, whatever. I don't know what people call those things, but basically there's clear greasy oil everywhere, and I'm pretty sure we spun the seal on the blower again. We have had this happen before. Those of you that have been around for a while have seen me rebuild the snout before. Well, I didn't rebuild it. I took the snout off and sent it to Jokerz because he's the one who did this blower to begin with. He ported it, rebuilt it, all that stuff. This is a fully worked Jokerz blower. Ported, rebuilt all the seals, bearings, everything. I spun this before and had the same thing, oil fly everywhere. So we took the snout off, sent it back to Jokerz. He put a new seal on there, said it's a pretty rare occurrence, but not rare for us because we just did it again. The front of the blower is all greasy. There's this blower oil, not really all over everything. It's actually seems to have just shot this way and hit that, and kind of got this hose a little bit. It's really not too much, honestly, underneath the intake, but it seems to have flung up and back the most. Up here is where it's really disgusting. You can see it is all over everything. Man. So, yeah, spun the seal again apparently. I'm not sure if that's really drivable, like if I can just fill it back up and drive it, stay out of boost, but I guess this is the perfect time to go ahead and start a TVS swap. Why mess around with something that's kind of iffy? We've already blown this seal before. I could probably fill it back up and be good for a little bit, but I mean, it was making some boost, honestly. The cold weather might have pushed it over the edge, because I've been beating this thing and driving it and giving her hell lately, and I really haven't had any issues. But it's also been, you know, 90, 80 degrees, hot, humid. Now that it's nice and cool and we got this blast of cool weather, it just might have pushed this blower over the edge. So we have been maxing this thing out for the longest time. 10-pound lower, 2.7 upper, spinning the hell out of this Eaton. And I think the cool weather, the air is nice and dense. I think it was making quite a bit of boost. It normally makes around 15 to 16 pounds because it has a lot of flow. It should be making more, but you know, because when you relieve back pressure, you lose a little boost, but you do gain power through airflow. But we were probably making 18, 19 pounds of boost on that last pull because it's just so cool, so dense. So we pushed it past its limits again, and I think I'm just done messing with it. We actually have all the parts for the 2.3 TVS swap, so I'm going to take you guys inside, go over all the parts that we have for the swap in detail. That's what this video is going to be, so let's go ahead and get into the parts. All right, so we got all the parts in finally for the 2.3 TVS swap. Those of you that don't know, the 2.3 TVS is basically the supercharger that comes on the 2013 and 2014 GT500s. It's a very capable blower. It's basically right on par with a 2.3 Whipple. Some even say it's a little better than a 2.3 Whipple because it is more torquey than a 2.3 Whipple. They're very torque heavy blowers. Whipples kind of have an even horsepower to torque ratio. These are more torque heavy, so they even give it a better bottom end characteristic, kind of similar to the Eatons on our Lightnings, how they're very torquey. They make a lot of torque. We made 500 horsepower and 580 foot-pounds of torque. It's going to be a very similar torquey feeling blower, so I'm really excited to go with it. Of course, we have the JC Customs mid plate. By the way, shout out to JC Customs for this whole swap because he's the one that made this possible. He gave us the blower, the mid plate, the pulley bridge, all kinds of goodies to sponsor the channel because you guys used my code with him so much. If you guys don't know, he makes all kinds of stuff for our trucks. This is his mid plate adapter that he makes. All kinds of billet parts. Check him out. I'll put a link in the description. Use code DEBTLIFE for 10% off everything on his website, and go get some billet and some cool parts for your truck and support the little guy. I'm a very firm believer in supporting small business, and JC is a super solid dude. He does a lot for this platform, and it's just really cool to see him showing so much support for our, dinosaur platform. So go check him out, link in the description. Use code DEBTLIFE for 10% off. You guys are the ones that made this possible with JC for using my code from the previous videos. So he hooked us up, 2.3 TVS with the 45-degree elbow, mid-plate adapter. I had it anodized black. The intake setup I'm gonna go over. I picked up the monster 170 millimeter throttle body for a GT500. This is huge compared to the throttle bodies for the Lightnings. Now, when he sends you the adapter, you have the option for a throttle body adapter, so you can technically, it'll bolt up to the elbow and you can use the stock Lightning throttle body, but this is so much bigger. The entire Lightning throttle body can fit inside that oval. This is a game changer. This really opens up possibilities. If you put the Lightning throttle body on a 2.3 TVS, you're really choking it out. You're doing the blower no justice. Now with an M122, which is the blowers that are on the Mustangs, they are a smaller, less capable blower than the 2.3 TVS. You can use the Lightning throttle body and probably be fine, but when you're using a 2.3 TVS or 2.3 Whipple, you do not want to choke it out with a stock Lightning throttle body. Even if it's the AccuFab, the Lightning throttle body size is just not big enough to do it justice. So we picked up the monster 170 millimeter throttle body. You can get them from LFP. I'll put a link in the description. You can go order those. Made by Black Diamond CNC, and they do a great job with these throttle bodies. Intake setup. We went with the Super Big Air from JLT. This is for the 2013, 2014 Mustang GT500s. This is their cold air intake, and it is a monster intake. 5-inch tube. It is the Super Big Air intake for the GT500, and it is huge. Boy, that's gonna really open up the airflow and allow this thing to get as much air as it needs. Crazy amount of air that thing's gonna get. Comes with the filter. I'm not sure if we're gonna use the heat shield or not. Probably not. I might have to fab something or just fab that one. It's gonna be dependent on the clearance where the filter comes down. I'll put a picture on the screen. And the coolant reservoir might have to get relocated. We're gonna have to fab all that up, but that's the intake setup I went with. I'll put links to all this in the description, by the way. We are gonna be switching to a slot style MAF. This is the VMP 3500 slot style MAF. And this is the MAF adapter. This is really handy. When you switch to a slot style MAF, a lot of people cut their MAF cords from the harness, the MAF, MAF harness, I guess you call it. They cut it, get one of these ends, splice it all in. Well, I got this from VMP, and you don't have to do that. This is an adapter that plugs right into the stock MAF harness and has the correct end for the slot style MAF. So it's plug and play, super nice. I'll put a link to that in the description as well. Got that from VMP. So I got that. That's pretty much all the intake related stuff. I wanted to do, by the way, the Super Big Air intake. You could buy a 90-degree elbow for the 2.3 TVS. I think it's the Roush 90, and then use a Whipple cold air intake. That'll be just fine. I wanted to do this style intake because it's gonna be less bends. A 45, like we have here, will flow much better than a 90 and then another 90 and then a filter. This is going to be a 45 straight down to the filter. Like I said, put a pic on the screen, and I think that's going to flow a lot better. The less bends, the less restriction, the more air and more boost. So that's what we chose. I think it's going to look really clean too, a nice little clean OEM-ish look. I want it to look like this blower was meant to be in the truck. So that's our intake setup. This is all our fuel system stuff we went with. Basically redoing the entire fuel system. Go big or go home. There is no sense in skimping on a fuel system because it is the lifeblood of your truck. And I wanted to leave plenty of room for upgradability in the future in case I decide to go to E85, just more horsepower, different blower, whatever. This is the fuel system that will do anything I need to do. This is going to be capable of well over 900 horsepower, no problem. This fuel system is going to be able to do it. So what I did, got the billet 4 fuel hat. This is triple pump capable. I just did dual for now. I don't need triple pumps, but I can always add that in the future. This is the triple fuel hat with dual 255s. Now, I could have went bigger on the fuel pumps, but dual 255s should be plenty for what I'm aiming for. We're shooting for mid 600s on pump, maybe low 700s on race gas, and I'll be plenty happy with that. I think 650 wheel will be plenty for what I want to do. I just want a reliable street truck making mid 600s and be super happy with that. Anywhere in the 10s, happy. So dual 255s should be plenty pump. I believe they support up to 750, 800 wheel is what I heard from talking to JDM, and Jim Jr. at JDM said 255s, plenty capable of well into the 700s. I should be fine on those. Talked to Eric Korn. Eric Korn said dual 255s are plenty. Those should carry me well into the 700-800 range, no problem. Should have plenty of pump there. So I'm good with that. I have the, of course, HD circuitry wiring harness kit for the billet fuel pump hat. You will need to upgrade the wiring harness when switching the fuel hat to a billet hat, and you may even need to do that on the stock system with Walbro 255s. It seems to be hit or miss on whether or not you need to upgrade the wiring, but it's always a good thing to do, even if you don't need to. Upgrade the wiring, and it just gives you that peace of mind so you know you're getting the voltage to the fuel system that you need, so you're getting the correct amount of fuel. Good thing to do. Can never hurt. And he makes awesome plug and play kits. You can see nice wrapped loomed wire. All the ends are already terminated and ready to go. Even the ends that go to the fuel hat are already pre-crimped with your connectors there. So all you gotta do is slide the wire in, crimp it, and then heat shrink it. Done. Comes with the PRMs, so it's nice fused connections, all nice and clean. That is really the way to go for your wiring solutions. HD Circuitry can hook you up. He offers all kinds of wiring kits, E-fans, fuel system kits, all kinds of stuff. Hit him up for anything wiring related. You won't regret it. Really nice quality kit. So that takes care of that. We have our Fragola. Pretty much everything is Fragola for the fuel system besides the rails. We did go with the Metco billet rails. Everything else is Fragola. We went with the Fragola. This is 8-and push lock hose. It's black braided nylon, PTFE. We did 2 rolls of 15 feet, so 30 feet altogether. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. Honestly, I think it will, but we're going to have to see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But everything is Fragola. I did 8-and feed and return. That's what I chose to go with. That should be plenty. That should support well over 800 horsepower, 8-and feed, 8-and return. 4 regulator. This is the 4 fuel filter, and I got an extra replacement filter cartridge. Just the and wrench hose, or and fitting wrench. These are all the various fittings, all nice and fittings for everything that we're gonna do. I'm going to take you guys, it's going to be a whole separate video, building your own fuel system. I wanted to do this rather than buy a plug and play kit. I know JJ at Woodbine sells a full fuel system kit with all the ends are already terminated, ready to go. JLP sells it. A couple other companies offer that, but I wanted to build and design my own fuel system. I figured this would be really cool and a really good way to get some content out there for you guys. It's going to be awesome and just a cool experience. I like doing as much as I can by myself. I'm very DIY. I'm sure a lot of you guys know that already. So I wanted to give it a shot. Went ahead and did all this. By the way, for all these parts, hit up Jeff Wallace. Join one of the Facebook groups. Lightning Garage is a good one. Put a link in the description and ask for Jeff Wallace. He can hook you up. He hooked me up with all this stuff. Very timely manner. Everything came in perfect, and he's just a really good guy to deal with. So that's what we did for the fuel system stuff, and I really can't wait to get this going. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Just little odds and ends that I'm going to need for the job, like some Earl's assembly lube to help get the hose ends all put together and stuff like that. But that is everything we need besides one item. So the only other thing we're missing for the truck, for this whole thing to get started, and I can go get it at any time, I'm hoping to go pick it up this weekend, is the turkey pan. Basically, I got a new, well, it's not new, but I'm getting another turkey pan set up from Neil Otis. Those of you that have been around the Lightning scene for a while, or even been watching my videos for a while, will have probably heard me mention him. Neil Otis is an OG Lightning guy. Badass truck. He currently holds the Eaton record. I think it's 10.6. Let me get my phone out so I don't mess this up. He currently holds the stock blower Eaton record for Lightnings, and that is 10.6 at 124 in the quarter or 6.7 in the eighth. And that's on boost only, just the blower, no spray. With spray, he ran 10.3 at 131 or a 6.6 at 106. So 10.3 on spray, 10.6 boost only on the stock Eaton. Crazy. His truck is awesome. It's a freaking beast. And to my knowledge, no one has beat those numbers yet. He holds the record. So I hit him up. I actually saw that he posted his parts for sale. He basically parted the whole thing out because he went to twin turbo and is using a completely different intake style. So he put his blower up for sale, put some stuff up. I immediately hit him up and said, give me that turkey pan because it is going to be awesome for our build. He's got everything about that thing is fully custom. He welded a V into the bottom of the pan to help direct airflow up and into the heads. Everything's super ported, phenolic spacers, like all tricked out. I'll go over that when I get it actually in my hands. But so I hit him up, said take that back down, I want it, and then that way I can use it for the 2.3 TVS swap, since we're trying to get as much as we can as far as efficiency out of this thing. And everything he's done to that thing, all the porting and all the little tricks and stuff he did, that thing will be perfect for our build. And then that also opens up possibilities because we can use our turkey pan, the stock one off of this truck, and use it to swap all this stuff to the black truck, to the Ford FX4. So we'll have the 4x4 Lightning build and then the 2.3 TVS swapped built Lightning. So that'd be really cool. So that's the only thing we're missing. We're gonna go pick that up hopefully either this weekend or really soon. But I wanted to just kind of show you guys all the parts we got, go over the swap. We are pretty much ready. The only thing we were waiting on was the wiring harness kit because the PRMs were super back ordered like everything else nowadays because of COVID. But that finally came in. We're pretty much ready to go. I now have an excuse to go ahead and swap it because this thing's puking oil. So let's get this show on the road. That's coming very soon, guys. I mean very soon. I now have my excuse. This thing's puking oil, so I'm ready to do this thing. But I've rambled your ears off long enough. Make sure you like this video. Drop a like on the video, guys. Really helps it out on YouTube. Helps it get it out there for everyone to see and helps the channel grow, you know. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more. You guys know plenty of Lightning content's coming, especially with that 2.3 TVS swap. mid 600 wheel horsepower. I'm gonna go ahead and make my prediction now. If you guys want to make predictions, drop your predictions in the comments. Let me know what you think we're gonna be making on 93 pump gas. I want to stay on pump gas. I'm not ready to go to E85 yet. It's not widely available in my area, and I don't want to hunt for E85. I like just being able to pull up to the pump, stick it in, fill up, and go. So pump gas 93, and then I also want a race gas tune. I'm hoping for anywhere in the 700s on race gas. 701, sweet. So I'd be happy with that. So mid 600s, even low 600s, 630, 640, would be pretty good on 93. So 120 more than we're making now. So I'd be completely happy with that. So let me know what you guys think below. Leave your predictions down there in the comments. Drop a like I said. Subscribe to the channel for more. We'll see you on the next video, guys. Later.